So it feels like vibrationally we're just jumping all over the place. I mean, we're up and down timelines, it seems like all the time. I'm seeing so many different people in my feed that I haven't seen in months, and they're back. And yesterday I looked for this ring, just a simple, thing, for like an hour, and looked in this same one drawer all over, like where, and yeah, just found it just sitting right there in the drawer. Same drawer I pulled everything out of, and was like, how is it gone? I should have known how it was gone. Freaking things on a different timeline. Just the weirdest. It's like the Mandela effects. And somebody asked if Betty White had passed or not, and I said, well, because they couldn't remember, and I'm like, well, you just never know on this timeline. She did on another, but who knows. So my coffee place, totally different guy. Totally different. No one normal was there at all. That's one of the ways, like my personal Mandela effects, and coffee place. Funny thing, yesterday, yeah, went to grab coffee, and the girl in the intercom was like, hey, it's you. And I went, hey, it's you. The second I started to order my coffee, she's like, hey. And I'm like, hey, you. This place is where half my stuff happens, but yeah, no idea. She's like, yep, got it. She's like, oh, so good to see you. I don't know who you are. It's the weirdest, yeah. It was just, that was yesterday. Knew my order. Never saw her before. I'm like, hey there. I mean, it's just the weirdest. It's the funniest thing because I went Christmas Eve. That was another like weird shift around thing where, yep, I went with, I had my son in the car, and we went to drive up, and I'm like, this girl up here thinks she knows me. Watch this. And he's like, who? I said, that girl right there. I think she knows me. Different girl that I've talked about in another video where she's like, see you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, I don't know who you are. Same drive-through where I was like 5 seconds behind myself, like this parallel universe shit happened. Same place where all night long I was, everywhere I went, they're like, you were just here, you were just here. I'm like, no, I wasn't. Not on this timeline. But yeah, we drove. I said, watch this. We drove. She's like, hey. I'm like, hey. And my son's looking at me going, who's that? I'm like, beat the fuck out of me. And she said to me, I haven't seen you in a while. Nope. Because I'm converging into this timeline. It's so fucked up. I just roll with it. You've had to, if you do spiritual work, and especially timeline work and all this, you just roll with everything. I've had clients who have had complete sessions, and then they'll have another whole session on that topic, and I'm like, we literally just went over this entire thing. Conversations where someone asked me, about a particular issue, had a whole 2-hour conversation about it, friend of mine. Nope. Next day said, I'm having this issue. And I could tell they were on a lower frequency. And I'm like, we're doing this again. We're doing the whole fucking thing again. So it's like timeline shifts and splits, and it's really funky to watch, IRL, because there's so many strange things. And even, we were driving a couple days ago, my son's like, has this house always been pink? Nope. No, it hasn't. No, just drive the same places all the time and see the same stuff. And so that's what my personal Mandela effects look like as we jump around. Everything is always different, and it's bizarre too, because I'll go into a store one day, and the next day I'll go in, and the whole store layout is totally different. And it totally screws with me, because I'm like, I'm here every day. But when we jump around, the layout shift all over the place. So literally, like one example, I had to ship something like a care package for Christmas to somebody. boxes are always in the same place. I get them all the time for my rescues, right? Cats love boxes. But yeah, to use in like different kinds of ways. So I know exactly where they are. And we went over Christmas, had to get a box to ship stuff, and I'm like, nope, totally different place. Like, but the weird thing is, I had my son with me, and he's like, no, they're always over here. No, they're not. Like, I'm talking totally different section of the store. This is not, things shift and change, you know. And I'm always like, well, you know, people, they move stuff around. This is like an aisle I'm in every single day. That, like, within 3 aisles, I am always in those 3 aisles, always getting the same total different section of the store. No, I know where they are. They're over here. Totally different section of the store. I'm like, this just gets really confusing. And I'm used to it. But we're going like 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3, 4, you know. So it's a lot of, I call it the Ascension roller coaster. It's just, we're cleaning up timelines and old stuff, and the timelines are converging. So, and 4D is just very screwy with all the Dior bags, we'll say, stuff. It's an integration of realms, and that took a lot of work, a lot of intentional work over a lot of years to thin out the veils and drop the dimensions onto each other. That was a lot of work. And we're seeing it. I knew it was going to start to look screwy, but yeah, I think it's going to get a lot stranger. Naturally. I told you I, you know, had this in one of these visions that I saw, you know, hey, Bill the alien, you know, just regular store. Like, okay. They're going to be just kind of walking around, just chilling, just doing some shopping. But naturally, like you're merging with, you know, higher realms, it's going to turn into, it's been a lot of, you know, it's been a lot, all kinds of beings and all kinds of stuff, and, you know, like, okay. I feel like I knew Christmas would fly by, but I feel like this next month is going to fly by too, that we're going to turn around and go, wow, okay, it's the end of January already. And it's important where your focus goes, on what. Try not to give in to fear with certain distractions and things, you know. Always time out, take a lot of breaks, put the phone down, and check in IRL, you know. Do the things, get back to basics if you're overwhelmed, okay? Do more for yourself if you feel resentful. Those two things are an indication, you know, if you're overwhelmed, you've way overshot the mark, you need to back way up and get back to basics. Have you taken a shower? Do you have food? Do you have, you know, supplies you need? Do you, you know, are you on top of, you know, stuff, your bills and shit? And I know, nobody wants to. I know, believe me. It's a lot to not be distracted by it. But check into your own life, okay? And if you feel resentment, that's, you're not doing enough for yourself, personally, okay? You gotta make sure you're on top of self-care and time out and breaks and, you know, things like that. Good, nourishing stuff. Make sure you're taking your supplements. Find some healthy ones. You know, you gotta take care of your body through this. You gotta move your body around. I find that your body is not built to be stagnant. And a lot of people work from home. A lot of people are like kinda, you know, stagnant right now, and that's you gotta move around, you gotta stretch, you gotta get things, you know, do your strength kind of stuff, but move your body around, move the energy so it doesn't get stuck. Focus on what you want, okay, how you want things to look. Don't be so distracted that, you know, you forget about yourself and you're losing yourself in watching all these things. You've got to make sure you're checked in with your own life, your own stuff, okay? Very important. Spirituality is, it's a deep thing. Physics, it's a deep thing, but you've got to have a grounded approach with this, okay? So, do your grounding, simple stuff, back to basics. If it gets to be a bit too much, or if you feel too fearful, you know, shift right into gratitude, right into appreciation. That will snap you out of fear the fastest. Another thing, remember law of attraction, okay? You are the magnet, so your frequency is the magnet. So watch things like The Secret, binge Joe Dispenza, binge spiritual stuff, Abraham Hicks, things like that that are going to lift you, okay? Love you guys.